for a minute where you are going to ask each other questions. So I'm going to start with parents who are taking the role of teachers. Mrs. Williams, today you are a teacher in wherever your child's school is. Mrs. Chikwe, you're a teacher. Just take it that you are a teacher. So I think the first question, Mr. John, over to you. I think you all know I'm handing over to you guys for a minute. Go ahead.
Right, thank you very much. So my question is to Mrs. Williams. As a teacher, how would you manage a classroom of 25 students with diverse learning needs?
Wow, okay. So,
we want you to prepare.
Not even just 25, then diverse learning needs. Okay. So I think the first thing I would want to do is understand what the diverse learning needs are. What are we talking about exactly? What are the needs? Is it, so when I know what that is, then I believe that I'll be able to create individual learning plans for each child and perhaps be able to put them in clusters. So if there are children that have similar learning needs, perhaps then they are doing activities or academic work together and, maybe separate them that way, but find a way to bring them all together as well, because I think there's a lot of value in learning from each other, even if you learn differently. So that's what I immediately think I would try to do for that class.
Well done. Well done, Mom.
Okay.
That was a very good feedback. Very good feedback.
Yes, you passed.
Okay. Is there a next question will be from
you, sir? Any personal question you would like to ask, role reversing in the same format to Mrs. Yetunde Williams as well?
Any question, maybe Mrs. Nicole, Mrs. Yetunde, just ask any question that comes from you.
My second question is, how would you go about managing behavior in the classroom? Because children come into the classroom with different behavior. The expected one is the behavior for learning. But how would you go about managing behavior in a regular, typical classroom? I won't give numbers now.
Who are you asking?
Work with 25. I'm still asking
Ms. Williams.
Mrs. Williams.
You're ready for Mrs. Williams today. Okay, please go ahead.
Do you want to hire me? Because all these teacher questions they're asking me. But wow, different behaviors. I really believe that every child comes to school and they show up on the day based on what happened the day before, what happened when they went home, what they've been carrying with them, right? Whether or not that has actually been identified as the influence it has in how a child behaves in class. So I really think that one of the behaviors that are not adaptive, are not actually supporting the classroom environment, many times if we take the time to dig into what is going on, it is very likely there's some other underlying reason. Now, because I'm a certified life coach, I always believe that what somebody tells me is not really the answer. There are questions that you keep asking to get to really what is going on behind the scenes. So behaviorally, usually the challenge will be with something that is not supporting the classroom enabling environment, maybe a child that's disruptive. I would like to understand, it's not about punishing. Punishing doesn't change that child's behavior, right? I think to be able to discipline positively, to get the right behavior, you need to understand what is going on. And I'm not saying it's easy. I can imagine with a classroom of 25 people, it's very difficult to do that level of one-on-one, but hopefully that's where schools have pastoral care and have other things going on that can help to figure out what is going on with the child. Because if we get it right, then that child can be redirected to do what they should do. Now, I know this is all sounding nice and because I'm not in the classroom, but this is what I would imagine I would love to be able to do in a class that might have behavioral challenges.
That's amazing.
Well done, Mrs. Williams. Well done. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. You said, are you a teacher? That's the whole idea. Role reversal. And you've said something twice. I'm not in the classroom, so I know it sounds easy, but it's not that easy. That's precisely what we want. We want you to understand how these things can be. in the classroom. So yes, we've spoken about it very, theoretically, academic, but we've made a lot of sense. But the key thing is, you said, is how easy is this thing to actually be carried out in the classroom? Thank you for that. So who's asking the next question? You passed.
I'll ask. So, because I kind of have to go. So if
Yes,
if I
please.
can ask my question,
Please,
please.
you can go ahead.
Well done, Mrs. Yeti. Like when I was hearing the questions, I was like, ha, thank God it's not me because okay, so Mr. John, I'm ready for you since you've been asking all the questions. So I'm gonna ask you a question, Mr. John.
What are you asking, Mr. John or
Mr. John? Yeah.
Okay, good. Cool.
Can you hear me?
John, can you hear Mrs. John? You're muted. Mrs. Chikwe is going to ask you some questions.
Okay.
She's going to ask you some questions.
Okay. So my question is this. How do you balance supporting your child's homework without doing it for them?
Which is what you tell every parent. Don't do the homework for them. Okay.
Okay, there's a place for helping, as an outrightly helping, so that the outcome is good when the child gets back to school. But there's also that place of allowing them find out what their flaws and mistakes will be. So my role most of the time is what I do with my kids is I guide them. So what do you think that question is saying? So what do you think? I won't go outrightly to tell you, okay, so that's the answer. I will guide you till I see you're close to the answer. And I might even test you again. So I don't give you the full story, but I guide you up to the point where you're able to do it by yourself, because time and seasons will come and go, and I won't be there when life comes. So, and you should be able to go through that same process. Everything we do with them should come like that. So I don't give you the answer, but I guide you towards what the answer should be.
Okay.
Okay, that's thank you.
Are you happy with that? Okay.
I am happy with that. And please, notes, that's it. I have to run now. I'm so sorry.
Thank you. Thank you.
It was such a pleasure and an honor being a part of this program, and it was fantastic meeting everyone. I look forward to connecting with everyone offline as well. Thank you. Thank you to wonderful panelists. You're amazing.
Thank you so much, Nicole. Thank you. So we're really rushing.
Bye, Chief.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye. So nice meeting.
Tell me, who's asking who? Mrs. Yeti, before she also needs to go, and everybody, I want us to round up in the next 15 minutes. All right. So yeah, Tommy, are you asking Mrs. Yeti?
So unfortunately, Mrs. Williams, my question was supposed to go to
because she has
that, but she's not here. So here's what we're going to do. So that I won't put you on the spot again. I'm going to ask my question to Mrs. Nwani.
No. I can't concentrate as the whole. Ask John.
Okay. Oh my goodness. All right, I'll throw my question.
Just one more question, and then we can go to the next thing. So
I'll just throw the question open, right? And the question is, one moment, please.
I'm going to come back. Yes.
What strategies?
Can we get ready the Amina's singing? I just want that. We need to bring in the students here. We have the teachers and parents, just one child and her mom quickly. So are you ready, Tommy?
Yes, okay, I am. Yeah. As a teacher, what's your strategy to engaging students who seem uninterested in learning? Mrs. Williams?
I thought you said it's John.
Sorry, say that question again.
What strategies would you use to engage students who seem uninterested in learning?
That's a very, wow. Uninterested in learning.
As in the classroom, right? As in you were a teacher.
Yeah. So I guess the first thing coming to my mind is I wonder, is this across the board or is this specific?
Oh, this child, is that diverse, we said the diverse learners.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, okay, so is it for a particular subject or just the child is uninterested, for example, in being in school, being in class and would rather not be there, right? So I'm going to paint it that, sorry? You're muted.
You're muted.
You're muted.
Oh,
Tommy, we
let me
can't
know.
hear you. Okay, we
I'm
can
sorry,
hear you
I
now.
don't know. Okay. For simplicity, let's just assume that the child is uninterested in science, for example, a particular subject.
Okay. So if it's a particular subject, and I think it's very fair for a child to not love every subject, I would try to lean in and help to expand the child's mind to say you might not particularly enjoy the subject, but you recognize that there's a lot of things you would learn here. And I find that sometimes it could be tied to the way a child likes to learn. So a child who might not like science, maybe they don't like cramming stuff, but they don't like, I don't know, something like that. Can we turn it into a bit of a game where suddenly the periodic table is no more, you have to cram it. You create a song around it if the child is somebody who's creative. So that's what I'm thinking is, okay, per child, try to figure out how could I pull this child out to enjoy this subject a little bit based on what the child's interests are.
I think that's a beautiful answer, to be honest, isn't it? Is finding out what the child likes and teaching the child through what the child likes. You know, we say that the learning style thing is not research-based, but teachers swear by it, that if I know your learning style, I will be able to, you know, get you to learn in my subject. So even though, you know, it's actually one of the things if you research it, it's said that it's a myth that learning styles, you know, VAC, visual kind of study, it's not research based, but teachers are the true, again, is listening to the voices of the teachers and they say it works. So if I look at that, I know how you like to learn. If you're a boy, I teach you through the means that you like to learn. Hopefully, and of course, a lot of encouragement, growth mindset teaching, getting them to realize that, okay, I don't know it yet. I don't like it yet, but I can get there.